Have you ever heard of the Night Witches? During World War II, the Nazis were so desperate for victory that they recruited female bombers to do their dirty work. And these women did not disappoint. These female pilots would execute dangerous bombing runs over enemy territory, all while avoiding detection by the enemy. But how did they do it, and what was the impact of their actions? The Night Witches were a group of female Soviet bomber pilots who operated in the deadliest and most challenging conditions imaginable. Flying at night over enemy territory, they completed over 24,000 combat sorties and dropped over 3,000 tons of bombs, all while being outnumbered and outgunned. Their bravery and skill in the face of almost impossible odds made them a legend. But what made these women decide to become bombers? It all started when Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941. The Soviet Air Force was caught off guard and quickly began to lose air superiority over the front lines. This meant that the bombers were at risk of being shot down before they even reached their targets. So the Soviet Air Force had only one option left: to train female pilots to do the job. At first, the men in charge were skeptical. They believed that women were too emotional to be good pilots, and that they wouldn't be able to handle the stress of combat. But they were wrong. The women proved to be excellent pilots, and they were eager to do their part for the war effort. The Night Witches were trained for 6 months in a special school for military aviators. After that, they were ready to take to the skies. The women flew Polikarpov PO-2 bombers, which were specifically designed for night missions. These planes were equipped with powerful engines and heavy guns, but they were also very vulnerable. Despite the danger, the Night Witches were fearless. They knew that their mission was vital to the success of the war effort, and they were determined to do whatever it took to complete their missions. They flew through enemy fire and bad weather, and they often had to make multiple runs over enemy territory. One of the most famous missions of the Night Witches was the bombing of Königsberg. In January 1945, the women flew a total of 64 sorties and dropped 378 bombs on the city, all without losing a single aircraft. But the Night Witches didn't just bomb military targets. They also targeted German infrastructure such as railways and bridges. This was part of a strategy to weaken the German war machine and make it easier for the Red Army to advance. The Night Witches were not only skilled pilots, but they were also incredibly brave. They flew their dangerous missions, knowing that they were putting their lives on the line. And they did all of this while facing sexism and discrimination from the men in charge. In the end, the Night Witches were successful. They helped the Soviet Union win the war, and they proved that women can do anything that men can do.